This happened to me a few years ago. I worked at a bar in my town. I will not name the town for privacy reasons. All I will say is that it is in Pennsylvania. I was working the bar one night. The time was around 7:30 a.m. There was a football game going on in the city near us, and it was on TV. So, a lot of people came that night. I remember watching as this group of 4 girls walked in. They looked young, but definitely old enough to drink. I served them and everything went normal until around 8 p.m. I looked up from my phone, spotting a man entering. He wore a dirty white tank top, dirty blue jeans, and brown work boots. The man sat next to one of the girls. Even though many stools and booths were open, I walked up to the man, who was already visibly drunk.
Probably a bar hopper,
I said to myself as I approached him. As I did, I noticed his breath smelled like alcohol, and he had a yellow stain on the tank top. Probably beer. As I approached, I saw him talking to one of the girls. I made out words like, "Hey baby," and other stuff. He was obviously flirting with her. Mind you, this guy looks to be in his mid-40s, with brown, balding hair, talking to early mid-20s girls. The girl obviously tells him no, but he doesn't listen. I watch as the creep grabs her thigh and she screams and then slaps him. The man lets go and begins yelling slurs at the women. I yell at the man to leave, and surprisingly, he does. Cut to 9 p.m. when we're closing. All the customers left and I was on closing shift. I wiped down the tables and then locked the door, walking to my car. I entered my car and drove off. Our town is surrounded by woods. I live outside of the town in a wooded area. I was halfway down the road when I saw 2 headlights in my rear view mirror. The headlights were bright, so I could not see the driver, but I could make out the vehicle to be a white, beat-up pickup truck. The truck began tailgating me. I sped up. It did too. As I approached my house, I turned into my driveway. I looked into my mirror. The truck had stopped on the road, a little ways ahead from my driveway. I watched as the truck sat there for a few minutes, then sped off, its tires screeching as it did. As I entered my home, I made sure to lock all my doors and windows, just in case. I headed upstairs and fell asleep quite quickly. I remember later in the night I awoke. I don't know why, but I awoke. I looked around my room, seeing nothing. I then thought I heard something, almost footsteps. I then heard rapid stomping running up the stairs. I bolted up, locking my bedroom door and running into the bathroom in my bedroom, making sure to grab my phone. I heard the man open doors upstairs until he got to mine. When he noticed it was locked, he began violently pounding on the door, all the while screaming like a madman. I screamed as he pounded on the door. I began to dial 911 as the man pounded on the door. I was terrified because the man got to me. I'm a 5'6" female who can't do much. The man continued pounding until the sounds of distant sirens were audible. He ran down the steps and possibly into the woods surrounding my house. The police eventually entered the house, guns drawn. They found me and I told them everything. This is what haunts me to this day. One of the officers told me his description matches that of a murderer from 2 towns over. The truck was identified as stolen. The police told me that the man had killed a man for the truck and killed 2 unsuspecting women in a neighboring town by picking them up from a bar. I quit my job shortly after and then left that town 2 years ago. The man was never found. For all I know, he could be living in the woods by my house. It horrifies me to think that he could have gotten me, or those girls. Or the man is possibly just out there, awaiting the perfect time to kill his next victim.